Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, wrestling fans around the world, I would like to personally welcome you to episode 36 of the greatest wrestling podcast in the tri state area, the Hot Tag Podcast. Listen, this is the podcast where we talk about everything and anything pro wrestling. All right. Of course, as always, I am one half of your host, Rashad, and the other half of your host, my tag team partner in crime, Justin. Justin, what's good with you, bro?
What it do, hot tag people? Back for another episode. Uh, Ready to talk some wrestling as always, brother.
Hey, man. Listen, without further ado, man, you already know the business. Let's get straight into it, man. We always start off with our headlines for the week. My brother, what are our headlines today?
So, really, just one major headline that kind of took over this past week, and that is Carlos Silva, head of TNA and TNA as a whole, have been pulling some of their wrestlers from local indie shows uh, where they were set to go up against talent from AEW. So, for those of you who know, Nick Nemeth, formerly known as Dolph Ziggler, was set to go against MJF at Creative Pro Wrestling. Don't know when the date was, but it was sometime in the future. And Leon Slater, X Division champion, was supposed to go against Ricochet. Uh, but like I said, TNA pulled them from not the shows entirely. They weren't pulled off the shows entirely. Nick Nemeth will still be on that show. He just will be wrestling another TNA talent by the name of Bear Bronson. And as for Leon Slater, I think he's still on the show, probably going against someone else, probably from TNA. And this had a lot of people upset, in particular, some wrestlers from AEW. The main one being AEW World Champion MJF, the guy that Nick Nemeth was supposed to face. Uh, Max went on, busted open, and said some things about Carlos Silva, even posted some things on X after it was reported that Carlos Silva was unhappy with AEW airing on Thursdays, the same time as Impact. Max would quote this and say, "It's called being printed due to March Madness. The guy is actively a dumb motherfucker. Congrats, you pay your talent shit and force them off shows where they can make money." And basically, it was reported on this that it had a lot to do with partnership issues, is what was stated by Eric Silva and TNA. Is that it was partnership issues which caused them to pull the wrestlers from the matches. The only partner that everybody is thinking of is the WWE because of the relationship that the WWE and TNA have kind of came together and forged over the last year or so. Um, do I think that TNA should have pulled the wrestlers from the matches? Or probably not. Um, just because I think that there was no real harm being done to the stock of TNA or WWE by the matches that were booked. Like, of course, Nick Nemeth would have to lose to MJF, right? But who's really putting up an argument that Nick Nemeth shouldn't lose to MJF? He's the world champion in AEW, and I don't even think TNA is really using the man all that much right now. I see him more on Busted Open Radio than wrestling in TNA. So of course that wouldn't hurt them. And then as far as Ricochet goes, Ricochet would probably lose to Leon Slater, right? So there was definitely not like TNA was probably going to get the short end of the stick here. So I don't really see why it was such a problem with them allowing their superstars to go over there, or wrestlers, and go over there and face uh, wrestlers from AEW, especially since it's for Creative Pro Wrestling, which is ran by Kurt Hawkins uh, from the WWE that now wrestles in TNA, or Brian Myers.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think TNA should have pulled Nick and Leon from the promotion. I think he should have allowed them to continue with it, and then after that be like, hey, these are the last matches. Unfortunately, we can't go on with the whole TNA going against AEW wrestlers. So I think he should have just allowed them to wrestle because I don't think it was that far out, honestly. So I mean, let them go to the obligation. They already sold tickets and everything. So it's like, let them go through with the obligation. And then after that, say, hey, that was the last one. We're going to go into a different direction.
So then the Nick Nemeth MJF match was supposed to take place on May 1st.
Okay. So, yeah,
So
so like, yeah, I'm saying, like, unless there's like plans for them to do something with WWE after WrestleMania, then okay, I can understand that. But like, he's not being used in TNA, so like I don't get it. Let him go through with the obligation, and then or with the engagement, and then boom, like it's like, all right, cool, that was it. You feel me? Can't do it no more. Like same with Leon. Like that. That's the only thing I'm seeing. If they're doing something post Mania with WWE or NXT, then it makes sense to pull them. Makes complete sense. But I honestly don't see that like essentially. Not saying that in a bad
especially,
way, but I just don't
yeah,
see it happening.
and it's not like you couldn't, whatever new policy you have in terms of letting your wrestlers compete in other promotions, it's not like that couldn't take an effect post uh, these matches, or even starting right now, but you still have the handshake agreement and the verbal
Hmm.
agreement with Creative Pro and other indie companies to run these matches. I feel like you shouldn't back out on your agreement
I
now,
agree.
especially since you already agreed.
I agree.
And Nick and MJF went and started doing actual promotion and trying to build hype for the match, and they actually were doing that. So now all those people that bought tickets on the strength of wanting to go see MJF as Nick Nemeth, now they
Yeah,
can't see that.
SOL.
Yeah, they're still on the
SOL.
show, but it's not the match that people were paying to see originally.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I totally agree with you. I feel like this could have been done differently. Um, I think this was low key a bad move on, Silva's part. Feel like he should have, you know, took this and be like, okay, listen, we'll do this. We'll create this policy after this prior engagement because I don't want to be the guy to, kill off an engagement when it's already when it's like I could like if it was like 2 3 months, before time, listen, I mean, you're not really missing anything. But this is May 1st. Like this is essentially in 3-4 weeks. So
Yeah.
like, yeah. So I agree with you. Yeah, I think this could have been handled better.
And in the case of if it is the WWE kind of putting pressure on TNA to make this move, I would say for TNA, ask yourself, what besides having some of our wrestlers on your show, what really have we gained from this partnership that should force us from being able to also branch out and make our own endeavors and our own connections,
Facts.
especially since I feel like WWE is able to do it. We can move on from that into the weekly show reviews for this week. There will be no AEW Dynasty recap in this vlog podcast, of course, because Dynasty is on Sunday, and we like to typically record these podcasts from Saturday to Sunday, so it will be out on Monday for y'all. But we will cover Dynasty in the pod after this one. So we'll start off with SmackDown because we are recording this on Friday night, fresh off of SmackDown. So we figured we'll start with that since it's fresh on our minds. Rashad, you're very
Mm.
opinionated on this episode of SmackDown.
Yeah, shit was still ass. To be honest with you, it was still ass. Like I'm not understand. This is 3 weeks in a row that this show has not been good. Like it has not. It has been a snooze fest for me. And from the looks of it, other fans as well. I don't know who's running SmackDown Creative. I don't know who's writing.
But
I
we
don't.
know who's not running it.
We know who's not running it, and that's Road Dogg Jesse James. And you can see the effect of when he's not writing and somebody else is writing. For 3 weeks in a row, it's been 3 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks since he's not been, head of WWE SmackDown. And for those consecutive weeks, SmackDown has literally not gotten better. The only good thing I would say about this SmackDown was that we finally got to see the debut of Royce Keys, which, I mean, you have a powerhouse
Not
like
done.
that, you're gonna put him in a squash match, essentially 2-on-1.
Debut.
Like, yeah. So like, and he's essentially this hometown. So like, it's probably the only good thing that came out of SmackDown tonight for me.
I actually thought SmackDown was better than last week. Not by much, but better than last week. I got more substance in this week's SmackDown, I feel, than I got in last week's SmackDown. There were actually some things I was willing to take home and actually talk about, unlike last week.
Okay, what are those things?
Well, I really like Drew's segment promo. Uh I thought that was dope. I thought it was funny him doing it inside the jail cell, uh,
Hmm.
mocking Jacob Fatu's kind of past history, incarceration. Calls Jacob a thief because he stole his title in the main event of Wrestlemania from him, and says that Jacob deserves to be behind bars because he's an animal. He says, and this is one of my favorite lines of the whole thing. He says that the system didn't screw Jacob, but it screwed him. Of course, talking about everything that happened with Cody and Nick Aldis, and Cody getting a rematch, even though Drew beat him and he wasn't supposed to get a rematch. So yeah, I really liked this segment. I thought it was well done. Uh, Drew is always on points. The way he's been able to develop himself into this like really good talker is really credit to him because Drew McIntyre has basically everything else already. So Royce Keys, like you said, it was about time he had his debut squash match against Berto, but I feel like he looked really good during it. They played a package, video package before the match to kind of hype him up and get people behind him and
Hmm.
talk about where he's from. Of course, it being California, and they were in California, so he got a great reaction when he came out, and I feel like he looked good. Definitely a guy that I could see WWE really trying to get behind.
Obviously, we had Pat McAfee again. How'd you feel
Yeah,
about this his promo?
I definitely didn't expect Pat to come any with anything the level of what Cody cut on him last week and what Punk cut on him on Monday. But I did expect him to rebuttal, which he did. He really decided to march his happy ass out there and offer 25% off WrestleMania Saturday.
That's
The
still
night
not doing shit.
probably, and if you look at the card, probably the worst night out of the two nights is night one, in my opinion.
And that's why they're doing 25% off. So nobody wants to
And
go to see night two.
you coming
I mean
out
night
there
one.
offering 25% off like that's like, bro, we get what that is. It's not. It's just because you're not selling tickets. Like,
Hmm.
who do you? How dumb do you think we are, brother?
Apparently super dumb
TKO, how dumb
because
do you think we are?
yeah, we called GNC and GNC said yeah, or GMC said absolutely. Yeah, to Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Nigga, we don't, bro. You only doing that because you don't have the seats that you need to cover. Like there's nobody in there for night one. That's why you doing this discount. So now you need a scapegoat, and you got to tell Pat, hey, listen, we're going to cut the prices down, but say it's GMC, right? Say making it look like GMC is going to cover us, right? They're going to take care of the IWC. No, 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 no. It's you, TKO, overestimating what you were going to produce, and you're producing shit. That's exactly why you're pulling this 25% off. I can't wait for Raw to see what happens. You feel me? With because if they don't get the numbers for this weekend, oh man, brother, we might see 75% off. They might do a flash sale for tickets for $100. Just come buy a ticket. We don't give a fuck. We don't give a fuck. We say that. Just come buy a ticket. That's what it's looking like.
Cody comes out and schools Pat again, shows him there's levels to this, man. The one thing I found to be the most true is despite whether you like Cody, whether you like Randy, everybody does not want to see Pat McAfee. And it's a rare thing when you get kind of everybody to be on the same page with some, especially when it comes to wrestling, because everybody has their favorites and their people that they like and dislike for their own individual reasons. But to hear people unanimously agree on the fact that, hey, we don't need Pat McAfee in this main event, should tell whoever, TKO, whoever, but apparently not. Instead, they decided to see us Pat McAfee and raise us Jelly Roll.
Oh man, just spit in our faces.
Do
Talk
you
about rude.
understand that the main event of WrestleMania right now is being used to set up
Backlash.
a backlash tag match with
Yeah.
Jelly Roll and Pat McAfee?
Yep.
The
Yep.
main event of WrestleMania is being used to set up a backlash main event, man.
This is TKO going over WWE's head and saying, "This is what we want. This is what we're gonna do." You feel me? It's up to you guys to set it up, but this is our vision. And I hate that. I really hate that because like why can't we just have a wrestling match against with student versus mentor? You feel me? Student versus teacher. Like we could have went down memory lane. We could have pulled up some you know legacy clips. We could have ran like we could have did a whole bunch of stuff that still would have had more substance than what we have now. And the only reason you're not doing that is because you can't get the heat that you want on Randy. You're mad because Randy is getting cheered. Is that what it is? And now we're setting up a tag team match between Randy Orton and Pat McAfee versus Jelly Roll and Cody Rhodes.
It's
WWE
like
needs
they
some
said,
time,
we
bro.
already screwed it. We already screwed WrestleMania. We
Why not
might as well
just
just
keep
look
digging a
forward.
hole?
We might as well look forward to Backlash. Let's
Like,
move forward.
let's keep digging a hole deeper. Fuck it. Yeah, I didn't like SmackDown at all, bro. I didn't like Shower Boys Keys, but I didn't like it at all. It was a snooze fest for me.
The worst part of this whole segment, though, is seeing Pat McAfee hold the WWE Championship instead of Randy Orton.
And the nigga took it home. Why are you taking it home? For what? Like,
That's just crazy to me, man. Like, we're losing the plot here. We're losing the plot here.
nigga, you fighting for the title or is Randy? Like, what's going on? Is this like what is this? Is this Travis? This is Travis Scott all over again, bro. Like,
Randy Orton won the Elimination Chamber, earned the right to go to WrestleMania and fight Cody Rhodes, and it somehow became the third most important thing in this feud.
just send me the summer plan, bro. I don't want to watch SmackDown no more. Like, I watch it post Mania. I could care less, bro. I could care less about this whole build up, this whole feud. Like, I don't care.
You know who got booed? Might have got booed more than Pat McAfee tonight, though.
Sami Zayn.
It's Sami Zayn, man. That's crazy. That's crazy. And then he came out and acted like he did not know why he was getting booed.
You know exactly why you were getting booed, bro. Like, and
Really
then
trying to gaslight us like everybody else is tripping.
nigga said I'm here for the real Sami Zayn fans. Boo. Boo. Will the real Sami Zayn fans please stand up? Like, nobody wants you on this WrestleMania match or this WrestleMania card, bro. Like, we wanted Mello. We didn't want Sammy. We alright with Trick. We cool with Trick. But we didn't. We wanted Trick and Mello. Shit, you could have made it a triple threat at that point. Got okay, cool. Let it rock.
And
But
I
no,
think you obviously aren't getting booed because people don't like you. You're getting booed because you're in a spot that you really shouldn't be in right now. That's the main reason, man. That's the main reason. I don't know what the long term goal is for Sami Zayn because it's not the first time where it seemed like they were going in the direction of him becoming a heel and them just scrapping the whole thing and saying never mind. Uh, I think ultimately this has to lead to that. There, at this point, we know there will be no Carmelo Hayes at WrestleMania, so it really doesn't matter what you decide to do in this match. Whether you have him lose, Sami Zayn win, the reaction is going to be the same following WrestleMania regardless. Sami's going to get booed following WrestleMania regardless. So you probably should pull the trigger on him being a heel. Now, as for Trick Williams, yeah, you're just gonna have to separate him and Sami Zayn after this, because as long as you keep them together, Sammy's gonna get booed and Trick is gonna get cheered, and I'm sure that's not what they want.
Not at all. But that is the way the cookie is crumbling right now. Boo Sammy, cheer Trick.
It's gonna be an interesting one to see how they progress with Trick, because it's undeniable the reception he gets every time he comes out. Personally, I feel like he does his best work as a heel, but it's just not the crowd refused to boo him. So how long can you try to force heat on someone when obviously the crowd's not going towards that way? It's the same thing with Randy, or was the same thing with Randy before he lined himself with Pat McAfee, where no matter how hard they tried to get Randy to get booed, it just wasn't working.
Just take take me to Mania, bro. That's where I'm at with this SmackDown. Just take me to Mania, and we'll pick it up from there. Like, because they need a shift bad. So, you got anything else for SmackDown?
I thought Jade and Io was going to be good, and it was just all right. So I was kind of
Bro, they
disappointed in that.
they started the match at 10:53. I told you they only had 10 minutes. Guaranteed. And really I thought it was because BFAB Meacher was gonna jump in, but like they got taken out. Still only had 10 minutes. No, no,
Damn,
no.
poor Io, man. Been putting in work all year.
It's
No
crazy.
spot in WrestleMania.
But let's move on to a show that is not WWE written or produced, and that's AEW. My AEW correspondent. What do we have for AEW, my brother?
So the first thing I wanted to talk about is Kyle Fletcher. Kyle Fletcher is announced that he is injured and has to vacate the TNT Championship. The specific details of his injury are a bit unknown. I don't think it's nothing too serious, but serious enough to where he had to vacate the championship. AEW will be crowning a new TNT champion at Dynasty in the Casino Gauntlet match. And who I think will probably win that match, I think it would probably be Ciampa. Yeah, I think it would be Ciampa, just because he's been really over since coming to AEW, and they put the title on him before, so I could see them putting it back on him till Kyle comes back and they have another match for the TNT Championship. Wish my boy Kyle a speedy recovery, because I do really like Kyle Fletcher. Um, and it sucks that he has to give up the TNT Championship, because I know he was getting ready to have a really crazy title run. So that was unfortunate. As we talk about one person getting injured, I want to talk about one person coming back and give a quick shout out to Queen Aminata. I think she made her return to AEW Dynamite, her first match back since neck injury, in a match for the TBS Championship against Willow Nightingale, and the match was actually really good. Uh, Willow been putting in work as TBS champion. I think they said she has 8 title defenses in 98 days. Uh, it is made official that Okada and Takeshita will be taking on the Young Bucks. Okada obviously taking Kyle Fletcher's spot in this match. But yeah, they will face the Young Bucks at Dynasty. And in return, Takeshita will get a shot at Okada in the International Championship. So that's going to be dope. Hopefully that finally leads to my boy Takeshita splitting from the Don Callis family and going out on his own. Yeah, and the Death Riders versus United Empire and Chaos in Canada was good. So AEW was solid. Yeah, really excited for Dynasty this Sunday. So the card as of right now is Kenny Omega versus MJF for the AEW World Championship. John Moxley versus Will Ospreay for the AEW Continental Championship. Darby Allin versus Andrade El Idolo. Thekla versus Jamie Hayter for the AEW Women's World Championship. Young Bucks versus Okada and Takeshita. FTR versus Hope and Cage for the AEW World Tag Team Championship. Chris Jericho versus Ricochet. The Dynamite Casino Gauntlet match for the TNT Championship. And on the 0 hour, it'll be Alex Windsor and Marina Shafir. So shaping up to be a good card.
Once again, thank you, IEW correspondent. And last but not least, we move on to Monday Night Raw. And honestly, this wasn't a bad Raw in a sense. I don't really have much from this Raw. Um, the two biggest things for me, honestly, is one, first and foremost, CM Punk. You bitch. You didn't have to cook my tribal chief like that. Didn't like it. Um, you know, I feel like there was no reason for you to really go there.
I told you
Um,
when this feud, when Roman won the Royal Rumble, I told you his best bet was to be there every single week because CM Punk would be there every single week with a microphone in his hand. And the less times you have to rebuttal this man, the more chance you have getting cooked. And Roman Reigns picked the wrong night to not show up because boy did they let him cook.
yeah,
He
yeah,
didn't just cook. He flaming on everybody.
yeah. He did. He did. I
I
mean, he
have it
talked about The
all.
Rock. He talked about Roman. He talked about Pat. I mean, he talked about a lot of people, man.
And it's crazy because Punk comes out and he announces that Roman isn't there and he starts to get booed. He was getting booed at the beginning of this promo.
Yes,
And
because
by the end, everybody was on their feet. And that just on the microphone, man, he's untouchable, man. He's untouchable.
so now, unfortunately, he gotta get that work. He gotta get that work at WrestleMania. And,
But I
sad
want to
sad to see it.
I want to dig a little deep into some of the things he said though. Because I mean, we can start with Roman, of course. He calls Roman fake. He calls Roman plastic, and says that's why he gets to do the appearances while he's real and unpredictable. Um, which is a response to Roman getting to go on Jimmy Fallon and take little shots at Punk on Jimmy Fallon, basically calling Roman the company guy that gets sent out because he gives all the safe PR type answers. You can
It's
say
not his
that's a
fault that
good.
nigga good for the
I was
business.
about to say that you can say it's a good or a bad thing, um, but as Punk keeps going here, it gets worse. Of course, he touches on how Roman is barely here half the time, and he shows up at the end of shows and leaves early, and how they both could have built this match to be huge, but it's mainly Punk having to do it himself. which it's the truth, man. Like, you cannot be the winner of the Royal Rumble and be going into the main event of WrestleMania, and we only see you for 5 minutes, 10 minutes at the end of shows every other week. Who's going to want that guy's chant?
He did it before. They didn't have a problem with it.
No. We had problems with it. There's always been a problem with it, regardless of who it was. Brock,
Niggas ain't
Roman.
say shit though.
No. They said shit. That's why the
He,
title was created, the World Heavyweight
listen.
Championship.
He went on for 1,300 plus days. If it was such a problem, he wouldn't have got that far. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
I would disagree. We know who was in charge most of the days, and we'll get into him. We'll get into him because he's talked about in his promo as well. We'll get into him. And this is where he kind of gets into The Rock a little bit. He says The Rock. He says he shows up. We're talking about Roman. He shows up late and leaves early like he's a Hollywood superstar like The Rock, or was a Hollywood superstar, which is a crazy shot at The Rock. I wonder if, and I'm sure they didn't. I wonder if they ran this past The Rock, if he knew, because he is on the board of directors at the end of the day. So to be taking these shots at somebody who's on the head of the board of directors is kind of crazy. But he goes on to talk about how Roman was handed favors by his family and how he paid his dues while Roman was just a Nepo baby that ate food for a weird old man who is Vince McMahon, and that if anyone else was given as many opportunities as Roman did and it didn't go as planned, they would be fired. Which, when we talk about Roman Reigns and the tribal chief, you can't talk about that without talking about the early years of Roman Reigns and how rough those were. But to his credit, to his credit, he was able to turn all of that around from being probably the most hated man in the company to being one of the, if not the biggest stars, probably the greatest champion of the company, and kind of carrying the WWE during the pandemic. So I will give him his credit for that and how he was able to turn around all that hate into the tribal chief gimmick.
Listen, you know Rustin. Yeah, it was a bumpy road, but the road obviously once we fixed it, it got smoother. It's smoother, and there was no potholes in that road. It was just a smooth drive straight out. Feel me? Hitting the gas, and we were still good. So ain't nothing changed but the day, man.
We get into uh, the parts where he starts to talk about Pat and TKO and RMA. Well, he starts off by calling Pat McAfee, which is a crazy line. It's a crazy.
Hey, man, and great use of play on words with the last name. You feel me?
Yeah,
Listen,
that
he
this
Punk, man. He has no filter. Like we know that.
yeah, this is the point where the promo starts to go off the rails. I'm sure. I'm sure this is where things get to go a little bit uh, left. He says Pat wants to come into this business and talk about ticket sales. He tells him to call up his agent who put him in this business and put him into the feud between Randy and Cody, which is Aria Maywell, who also is the CEO of TKO.
Yeah, I think so.
And he says, tell him to lower the ticket prices, which gets a huge reaction from the crowd because we've talked about it on this pod, and I'm sure you've heard it and probably seen it for yourself by now. But ticket prices for WrestleMania are just way too high, and not even just WrestleMania. Ticket prices in general for these shows nowadays are just way too high. But as a business student, because I do have a business degree, it is very counterproductive to basically call for the lowering of ticket prices for a company that you work for. It's kind of counterproductive, but at the end of the day, it is the truth. And Punk is the voice of the voiceless. So he's speaking for the people. And he says he wants the ticket prices lowered because he wants everyone to see him stand on Roman Reigns' throat at WrestleMania because he is CM Punk and he approves this message. And mic drop and quote personality plays, and that's the CM Punk promo.
Great promo, but it's sad that he gotta get his ass whooped by OTC come
More than
Sunday.
great. This is probably the best promo Punk has cut. One, since he's been back in the WWE. Two, since probably the first pipe bomb promo. This was definitely a pipe bomb
Yeah, it
in
was. It
many
was.
fashions. Yeah, it was definitely a moment. I was losing my mind listening to it. I just couldn't believe what I was hearing at the time.
Hmm.
Um,
Let him cook.
yeah, man. Like I said, there was fucking flames and smoke coming off that microphone by the time Punk was done with it.
Speaking of smoke and flames, there was smoke and flames towards the end of the night for me because I don't know who in the production truck, who in the back pressing buttons, but don't you ever do that fucking end credit shit and you got these two behemoths of men in there getting ready to go at it. Triple H, I don't know who no, no, not again. Like I literally had to go on YouTube and Twitter to watch the aftermath of the aftermath because y'all wanted to end the stream on Netflix. My nigga, it's only y'all on Netflix is live. You can let it go over a few minutes. You feel me? But whew, I can't wait for that match, man. For that match to open up the show for night two on the first hour ESPN, bro. You can't tell me that's not gonna be a banger. It's gonna be a banger, man.
Yeah, it's confirmed now. All the matches for night one and the matches for night two are confirmed. It is confirmed that Oba and Brock will be opening up WrestleMania night two.
Hmm.
Some people don't like it. I know you were calling for it to be the main event. Me
Absolutely.
personally, I think that I don't have a problem with this opening up the show. I think it's probably the next best option other than your main event. Uh, is to open the show because it's the first thing that people see and it sets the tone. Uh, I just don't think this match should be a main event. It's not that type of match. This is not your CM Punk versus Roman Reigns or even Seth Rollins versus Gunther. This is not the match that is going to go 25, 30 minutes. This match is probably going to go 10, 15. Not going to be a long match at all. It will be impactful, though. I'm not
Hmm.
going to shit on the match. It will be impactful, but it's not going to be a long match. It's going to be a car crash. Heavyweight fights don't go 10 rounds.
Nope. That's gonna go 3 rounds. You'd be lucky if it go one, to be honest with you.
Exactly. So, yeah, great call from WWE to open up the show, especially if the first hour is going to be on ESPN
Hmm.
because it's going to get more eyes on the show once people turn in ESPN and see Brock and Oba in the ring. I highly doubt they're turning the channel. The Usos and LA Knight versus Division and I Show Speed get announced for WrestleMania. How do you feel about this match? Do you feel like it should be on the card?
F,
Do you feel
whatever.
like,
I don't give two shits about it. Be so real with you. We can put matches together.
well, I
Yeah,
guess
I would have had Division versus the Usos. You feel me? I just like this is one of those matches. Like, what the fuck are we doing, bro? What are we doing? Like, just like had a vision versus the Usos. We already know Jay's not in his right state of mind. Like we already know he's going to interfere in the match with Roman and Punk. Like we're just this is strictly for fucking eyes and viewership that we don't have on a regular basis because the product is. I can go on for days, but respectfully.
this feels like a match just on the card for the sake of, I don't know, getting a celebrity match on the card in a way and getting LA Knight on the card where, I mean, I guess, but I think the funner match was always Jelly Roll and Danhausen versus Kit Wilson and The Miz. I think that match was the perfect first hour, night one, fun, entertaining match to put on the card. I don't feel like the Usos need to be in this 6-man tag, nor does Division need to be in this 6-man tag match. If anything, they should be fighting each other for the tag team championships. There's no tag team championship match on the card at all, Raw or SmackDown.
Like, see, you get it. It's just a match. We just making bullshit just to have niggas on the show that we don't need. It's crazy. It's crazy to me. I hate it.
I did like everything that Speed was doing the week before with Division, and I wouldn't even kind of mind if they would have got involved again in a tag team match, thus leading to this come maybe backlash. Even though we're already talking about another tag team celebrity match being on the card, but save all that shit for another card, man. Let's save it for another card, especially if we already got Yachty being there with Trick, and we got Pat being there with Randy, and most likely Jelly Roll being out there with Cody. It's kind of like I would just rather the tag team match. Open up the show, Usos and Vision.
I ain't got shit to say about this goddamn match. And you put a pile of shit and just mush it together. You just start taking pieces apart. And you just start putting it on plates. That's exactly what I feel like this card is. You just putting shit together and put it on plates and hope it performs. Hope it smells good.
Seth and Gunther. Gunther basically tells Heyman that he's doing this for a favor, which is looking like it's going to be the chance to wrestle Brock at SummerSlam in
In Minnesota.
Minneapolis.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking he wants to take out the beast. He wants to retire the beast incarnate. I'm thinking that's what he wants. He wants to continue his streak of the legend hunter, the legend killer, and retiring, multiple people as he can. So
Yeah, I felt like it was good reasoning. I felt like the reasoning was definitely important for this week as to why Gunther attacked Seth, and this makes perfect sense. Doesn't need to be further over explained, especially because we got some time till SummerSlam. So just leaving it out, like, hey, you're gonna owe me much more than a favor for this. Just kind of putting it there in the air. We know what's happened with Paul Heyman and favors in the past. So yeah, I like that. I like the kind of foreshadowing in that in a sense. Lastly, we got to talk about this Rey Mysterio thing. Reports were originally that Rey Mysterio was supposed to face Gunther at WrestleMania. But Ray sustained an injury and was not going to be able to compete at WrestleMania. Hence why we have Gunther facing Seth Rollins. Braun Breaker was hurt. Seth Rollins didn't have an opponent. Rey Mysterio was hurt. Gunther didn't have an opponent, so they put them together. Turns out Rey Mysterio then pulled the old okey doke on everybody and is perfectly fine because now he's
Gotcha,
in
bitch.
the ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania.
Well, just like you said, it's of course certain that Ray wants to do a retirement match with Dominic Mysterio, hopefully in Mexico, because he feel like that would be more substance, and that's the way he wants to go out. He doesn't want to go out against Gunther. He wants to
Right.
go out against his son on Mexican soil.
Which is understandable. I'm not here to tell Rey Mysterio that he can't choose who and when he wants to retire, right?
Hmm.
However, brother, you don't get to just come in here, bro, and get out of one match and get put into this Intercontinental Championship ladder match when my boy Carmelo Hayes might not even be in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal next week. Why is Carmelo Hayes not in this match? It was the perfect opportunity to have Melo, who everybody thought was going to miss WrestleMania, unfairly find another spot to have him in. I feel like WWE just missed the ball on that opportunity. And he would have been a great addition to the ladder match. Not that Rey
I agree.
Mysterio isn't good, but you got Dragon Lee and Penta.
'Cause all I can do is hope that the matches are good and they're not ass, because then it's gonna make it even worse if the matches are ass. When you could have had, you know, people that should be in there make it better.
Definitely a lot of the things that I feel could have made this WrestleMania one of them ones. I do think when it all comes down to it, uh, what's going to matter on Saturday and Sunday is the matches themselves more than anything else. We can talk about the builds to the matches all we want, and yeah, it's going to be something we talk about, but the matches and the performers have a chance to kind of overshadow all of that if the matches are good. I don't see no reason they shouldn't be, but nah, this build is going to be talked about for a long while. This is one of the craziest builds to WrestleMania in a long time. Now, we may not be able to get the WrestleMania that we want in real life, but fortunately, on this podcast, we can create our own card, and that's what we're going to do. So, I saw this trend. I can't remember where I saw it from, but it was to build our dream WrestleMania card based off of all-time WrestleMania matches. So a whole WrestleMania card filled with previous WrestleMania matches. I guess I'll start first since it was my kind of idea. Oh, also you can't use the same person twice, and you can only use the title one time. So you can't have one person on your card twice. It's basically the rules. But opening my show would be something that WWE doesn't have on their entire WrestleMania for 2 nights, a tag team championship match. TLC 2 from WrestleMania 17 with Edge and Christian, the Hardys, and the Dudley Boys would open my show. That would be my tag team title match. My next match would be Eddie Guerrero versus Rey Mysterio and I would make that a U.S. Championship match. This is from WrestleMania 21. Then, following that, for the IC title from WrestleMania 39, Gunther versus Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus. Banger IC title match, right? One of the best matches on all of WrestleMania 39. For my women's title match, also from WrestleMania 39, Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair. After that, kind of I got the match, but I don't know which WrestleMania to choose. Undertaker versus Triple H. Now, you could either go WrestleMania 17 or WrestleMania 27. I'm leaning more towards WrestleMania 27 because there's no disqualification, and I just want to throw some spice on my card. So I'm probably gonna go WrestleMania 27. My co-main, and this is a sleeper. This will be my World Heavyweight Championship match. It will be CM Punk versus Randy Orton from WrestleMania 20. That would be my World Heavyweight Championship match. Real slept on. And my main event would be for the WWE Championship, John Cena versus Shawn Michaels from WrestleMania 23. Come on, that's a banger card right there. It's a banger WrestleMania card right there, man. You
That's not
can't
bad.
tell me it's not.
That's
All
not bad.
bangers.
That's not bad. I see that. And I'm gonna raise you my mania card because unfortunately, great minds think too much alike. So, starting off the show is for the Raw Women's Championship from WrestleMania 37, Night 1, the main event of that night, Bianca Belair versus Sasha Banks. First of all, two black women main event WrestleMania. Like we starting to show off with that. That was a banger. Let's go. Let's work. Number two, we have a tag team championship TLC match from WrestleMania 17. Edge and Christian, the Hardys, and the Dudleys. There's great minds think alike, man. Great minds continue to think alike because for the SmackDown Women's Championship, we have Rhea versus Charlotte, which is WrestleMania 39, Night 1. And we were in attendance for that match, and we saw how much of a banger that match was.
Great match.
All right. Coming in at number four for the WWF Championship, right? We're gonna bring the championship back. We got The Rock versus Stone Cold, WrestleMania 17. Feel me? I'm pulling. All right. Co-main from WrestleMania 26. We got Career versus Streak. Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels. This was the culmination of the feud. This was the big one right here. And of course, I gotta go with one of the biggest moments I've seen in my WWE time for my main event for the WWE Championship. Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar versus Seth Rollins, WrestleMania 31, the heist of the century.
Now, will it play out the same way, or will it start as a triple threat match? It's playing out the same way with the cash in.
It's playing out the same way with the cash in.
Woo!
That was one of the one that moment there was wow. Yeah. Every match plays out the same way for me. That that's
Hey,
that's how good of the matches. That's how good the matches are. Everyone plays out the same way. As much as I would love for Roman to win, I that moment was just too big. It's too big, man.
I like your card. Your card is really good. You feel me? I like both of our cards. I feel like there's diversity. We don't have the exact same matches. We do have some of the same matches, but because hey, we've been watching wrestling together for a long time, we like the same shit. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. Amen.
But
This.
Yeah,
Listen, you put our cards on 2 nights. I promise you, we outsell this WrestleMania for
yeah.
sure. Hands down.
If you probably combine our cards together,
Like we
y-
outsell
the
easy,
craziest WrestleMania ever.
easy. But listen, let us know your dream WrestleMania cards. All right, you can do 5 to 7 matches. Let us know what are your matches that you're putting on your dream
Yeah,
WrestleMania card.
and remember the rules: you cannot use the same superstar twice, and you cannot use the same championship twice. So yeah, let us know who card you rock with more. You rock with Rashad's card more. You rock with my card more. Let us know.
But listen, that's all we got for hot tag. But of course, we can never go away without ending the show with our hot spots of the week. All right. This is where we tell our 3 favorite spots, whether it's promos, matches, people, it doesn't matter. What we like the most about this week of wrestling. All right, I'm gonna start it off. First, I gotta go with CM Punk. CM Punk is pretty much this is the new era version of the pipe bomb, as my counterpart would say. He was talking, and all I could do is just say wow. Cause man, that brother know he is good on the microphone. Second, I gotta go Uber Femi Brock Lesnar. This build up, I've said it for weeks now. I think this should be the main event of night one. But you know what? I'm okay with it opening. I'm okay with it opening. Because I know it's gonna be a banger. I know it's gonna be a banger. And third, hotspot of the week for me would have to be uh the 6 man tag match, which we didn't talk about, but Dragon Lee Penta and Javon Evans versus Los Americanos. Listen, man, the Javon is a honorary luchador. Um, that match was fire. I mean, I just the spots were crazy. I can't wait for the ladder match at Mania to see those three, Adam Rusev, NJD, and Adam Ray, see what they do with the ladders and what spots they come up with. So those are my 3 hot spots of the.
Okay, okay. For me, my hotspots of the week. The first one, of course, is going to go to CM Punk. We're going to get it out of the way. Probably promo of the year. Second, for me, is going to go to Cody Rhodes uh, for his promo. But like that was really good. It was the first Cody promo that sounded real in a while. It sounded like it was actually him talking and nobody else. No writers, nothing. Just a man with something to say. And I like when Cody Rhodes talks like that. It's rare nowadays, but when you get Cody pissed and he's talking from the heart, uh, it's a good promo. My third hotspot of the week is going to go to probably the TBS Championship match between Willow Nightingale and Queen Aminata. I felt like both of them brung it in this match. Like I said, I was happy to see Aminata back because she was really in a good spot before she got hurt. She was working her way up the rankings, and then her injury kind of sidelined her, and she got kind of jumped in a way. But she came back, and she looked better than ever. And Willow Nightingale is on points. She's making a strong case for Women's Wrestler of the Year already. So it was going to be my third hotspot of the week.
Hey, listen, y'all already know the deal. Let us know your favorite house spots of the week. Put it down below, comment, DM us, whatever y'all want to do. All right, but of course, that wraps up episode 36 of the Hot Tag Podcast. Now, make sure you follow us on all our socials. Like, comment, subscribe, and follow us for more content. We appreciate all the love and support. Without y'all, nothing is possible. As always, it's Justin. I'm Rashad. And always remember, stay sharp, stay fresh, and stay hot. Peace.
Peace.